So I have 6:31, so I'm gonna go ahead and call this meeting to order. And Becky, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Motion to approve the agenda as written.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, no one's opposed. Approval of the minutes from the February 7th regular meeting. Everyone should have had an opportunity to review those. They were sent via email. Any?
Motion to approve.
Okay,
Second.
thank you.
There was a typo that I sent, but you fixed that.
I emailed you
Okay.
back.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
That. Okay.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor? Okay, carries. All right, old business. At the last meeting on February 7th, we voted to approve of the disposal of the records from the election of November 2020 and January 2021 if there was no pending litigation. Mr. Landrum?
We don't see a litigation.
There's no litigation hold. So, Stacy, based on the vote from last time and in accordance with the code section, you can go ahead and dispose of those. Properly dispose of them. Okay. All right. Under new business, purchase of equipment for the advanced in-person voting. And in your binder, you will see a quote from No Ink for 2 iPads and the 4 new printer type check-in and flip stands that go along with it. Stacy and Rhonda, if you want to share a little more.
We reached out to No Ink and got a quote. We already have 2 poll pad check-ins for early voting that we use already. And looking forward to 2024, I would like to have at least 5 set up, possibly 4 to one side processing voters that are in line, and a second one that's in a line for the elderly and disabled. So hopefully it will keep from jamming the other line up as much as it did. So a total of 5 for the 2024 presidential election. On here, we got them to give us a quote for 2, and then the 4 stands and the 4 printers. But to do an additional one, it would be $1,029 more than what that quote is. I had looked at possibly doing 2 this year, and then doing 1 next year, but we do have it in the budget to be able to order 3 this year with the stand. So I say just go ahead and do it for all this year and already have them ready.
Just the 4 stands give you enough for everything?
Mm-hmm. It'll make it 5 stands, 5 printers, and 5 poll pads for check-in.
Okay, so you had 1 to each one of these lines.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And the 2 we have are cellular already, correct?
Yes, the state has already replaced the ones that we had before. So the ones that we have are cellular compatible.
And then 2, these are the cellulars that work better with the LTE, like that you were telling us before, over the emergency response.
Yes.
LT stuff. Okay.
We still haven't got a whole lot of information on that because it hasn't been approved yet. That's one of the things that they had asked for in the budget. So we don't have a whole lot of information on that, but we're looking to see it probably later on this year. But it is compatible to be able to do that.
And this is all still for early voting stuff, so it
Yes.
wouldn't really impact tape, which has a bad signal.
No,
Okay.
this new check-in process is only going to be for early voting.
And Stacy, will you say again what that adds, or do you have like the total amount it'll be with those additional equipment?
So it's the 3,078, and then an additional 1,029. So it's 4,107 would be the total.
Got it.
And we have a line item in the budget for equipment that would cover that. We wouldn't have to ask for any additional funds.
All right, is there any other questions of Stacy about the equipment?
Motion to purchase the equipment.
Authorize the purchase of 5.
It would be
Four, three, and then four.
3
3
cellular.
poll pads, 5 printers, and 5 stands.
Second.
Okay. Any additional discussion? All those in favor?
All right.
Okay, that carries. So that's great because as we heard at the last meeting, we know that it will definitely speed up the process and help with our wait times. So, all right, thank you for that. Next item on the agenda is a discussion of the legislative updates. If you will look in your binder, yesterday was actually crossover day. So if the vote did not occur in the House or the Senate, they did not move forward with those bills. And before you is a list of bills that did get voted on that would have moved into the opposing side.
Well, so, I mean, there's, not all of these went over.
No, this was just the update
Update,
that we got.
right.
I believe it was over the weekend or first thing Monday from Tawny Adams, which is our Gabrielle representative that does legislative update. So I just included that, but then I went on today to look and see, and there were a couple that were on the general calendar for today. The House had House Bill 17, House Bill 48, House Bill 426, and House Bill 559 that all pertain to elections. That was on their calendar for today, and all those should be included in the list that Tony sent out. And then the Senate had on their calendar Senate Bill 221. But before I left work, I didn't see any updates on those. They were just on the calendar.
So I have an email that says that Senate Bill 221 and House Bill 426 did not cross over. There's a possibility that part of those, or I suppose all, could be added to another bill in the Senate. Senate Bill 222 did cross over. That bans outside funding for elections and provides for criminal penalties for county, including us, if funds are accepted either accidentally or on purpose. Senate Bill 129, which deals with, provides for time off for advance voting, additional time off. Anyway, that it also did cross over. Both of those are currently in the House Governmental Affairs Committee, and there's a meeting scheduled for tomorrow. When this came in, that was at 1:59. It said that they don't know the agenda yet, so they don't know if those are going to be considered or not. So, I mean, my own concern about Senate Bill 222 is the criminal penalty. I don't get paid enough to get indicted for the county accepting funds for doing election work. So that's my objection to it.
Definitely
And
puts
we'll-
a different light on it, doesn't it?
It does,
Yeah.
it does.
We'll keep watching it closely, and we'll keep getting updates all the way up until sign day, so.
They didn't have provision in there for like individually, it's gotta be something individual, accepting money as an individual.
No, because I mean, my understanding is that because we're the elections board, I mean, Phil's the lawyer, but that's my understanding is that we'd be subject to potential indictment.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, definitely need to keep our eyes watching that one, and Phil, if you could look into that for us a little bit, just give us some feedback on your interpretation as well. Because there may be some vacancies on the board.
Real quick.
Right, right, Terry, yeah, new
What?
vacancies on the board, okay.
Yeah.
All right then, so, with that, obviously, the last day of the legislative session is March 30th, and so as they come down, Gabrielle or y'all will hopefully be able to keep us apprised, as you'll hear from the state on those too. Just out of curiosity, while we're talking about that, did you see any changes to the budget? I know there was a lot of talk today about the batteries. Did they cut that from the budget now?
They cut it from the budget, yeah.
Okay, so the big heavy batteries, we are gonna continue to have?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not changing now?
I mean, I suppose it's possible that they could put it in the budget for 24.
They could,
But-
yeah, but we don't know yet.
Okay. All right. Okay, next item on the agenda is staff comments.
Our staff attended the Gabrielle conference in February. We brought back a lot of information. One of the things that I wanted to let y'all know, just so that way when we're speaking, we all know the same terminology. Y'all are used to hearing me talk about CES, which is the Center of Election Systems. The Center of Election Systems has kind of gone away. They're doing away with it. They're not doing away with the actual center, they're just giving it a new name. So if you hear me talk about VEDS, it's Voting and Election Data Systems. And that's what CES will be known as from here on out. And then just to let you know, our ballot builder, Denise, who we've worked with since we took the job, she has retired. So we're happy for her and her retirement, but we will be getting a new ballot builder for the November election. We don't know exactly who that will be yet, but they've hired some new people and they've assured us that they're training them to all be the same all the way across the board and all be very well trained, even with newer counties like us that have newer employees that doesn't know as much about building ballots, that they'll still be as helpful as Denise was with all her years of experience. We had our poll worker appreciation dinner last Friday, and I want to thank all the board members for coming out and helping us celebrate our poll workers. We had a very good turnout, even though the weather wasn't that great. And I hope that the poll workers know just how much we do appreciate them. And it was very nice for us to be able to give back to them for all the hard work that they do for us. The board voted back in 2022 to cut their per diem for their meetings from $75 to $50 per meeting. And that money that they cut back was designated just for poll worker appreciation. And each board member at $25 per meeting times 12 meetings per year, that gave us a budget of about $1,500. And we did come in just a little bit shy of that $1,500, so we didn't have to move any money around. We don't have to request any additional funds, so that was covered just by board members cutting their payback by $25 per meeting. So I really hope that the poll workers know, how grateful y'all are for them as well. Our staff is still getting adjusted to the new Jarvis system. The state, I know you probably saw on the buzz, the emails of people sending emails in that they're getting things worked out. The problems as they arise, they're able to fix them in-house, so it's going a whole lot quicker. With any new system, building it from the ground up, there are problems and they're getting them worked out as quick as they can. Our staff will do some training in Paulding County at the end of the month. It's going to be an easy vote training refresher, because since we don't use Easy Vote all year long, we only use it during an election. They're offering a refresher course, so we're going to go take that and see if Easy Vote will be able to work for us in any other ways than what we're already utilizing it for. And our office did complete the reports that the Ethics Commission asked for the records all the way back to 2018 for the campaign finance reports for the city of Jasper, the city of Nelson, town of Talking Rock, and for county officials. We sent all of those in, and we're just waiting to hear back on the audit from that. So that's been completed.
Can you share how is Jarvis for you? How, I know you guys are getting used to it, but thus far, is it working? What?
It is. It's more user-friendly.
Okay.
But because we're so used to ENET being able to go in and do something, the functions in Jarvis might not be there just yet. It's changed some of the way we do things. I know when Rhonda prints out the voter registration card, it's almost twice as big as what it was before, so we're having to adjust the cards that we have, the actual physical copies of voter registration cards. And then as far as scanning or printing barcodes, we weren't able to print barcodes for several days. Now we can print it, but some of the barcodes that we print doesn't have all the numbers on it.
It has a symbol in the middle of the barcode, so it's not, it will not scan like that.
Are you having to keep up with all that to reprint then when they get the kinks worked out?
So it's a slow process, but I think overall, whenever they get everything fixed, it's going to work a whole lot better.
Find out in a few months.
Does anyone have any other questions for Stacy? All right, thank you. And again, appreciate you putting together such a great event for our poll workers, so thank you. This time I'll open up for public comments. Anyone have anything, concerns, anything you'd like to address? All right, there being none, we'll move on to board comments, and we'll start down here, Miss Becky.
I have no comments, except I'm happy with the poll worker dinner. I thought it went really well. Y'all did a good job.
Yeah, we had, I got a few comments from folks that they appreciated it, enjoyed it.
Ditto. Like, it's good that we were able to do that. I'm glad that we got to see the benefit of what we took back. And thank you for bringing us all back up to speed on how that happened, because I know we don't have all the same board members. But I was glad we were able to do that, and I'm glad that it was a good turnout.
I agree with everything they said, but I do want to make one other comment. So I had talked with Stacy about, I don't know what you would call it, enhancing the web page for our board. And then today I was looking at the county website for something else, and there is a fabulous video on there for our elections office. So I don't know if I just have not seen that before, or is that new?
That video was done when we moved to our new office.
Okay.
It's been on there, yeah.
Okay, well maybe because I mean, I was clicking around looking at some other stuff, so I didn't see it on our actual page. I actually saw it on another page of the county website. But kudos. I just want to say, I thought it was really well done. And I guess is that the same young man who might be
That's the
able
one
to-
that I'm going to be working with at Graham. That I'm going to be working with about some videos about how to fill out absentee ballots and several other ideas that we had that we're going to work on doing a video for and putting on there just to give as much information as we can to the voters.
Great. Thanks.
He's an asset.
So we are actively trying to get that website looking. I haven't looked at it in a while, but I remember too, like you, it needed some work.
The county has a brand new website altogether.
Oh, okay.
But I've been talking, Graham was nice enough to do that video for us when we moved to the new location. And I've talked to him a couple different times about getting on a schedule so that way we can do several other informational videos to put on our page that will help voters.
Is our page part of the county website?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, just to sort of follow up on that is, I mean, it all came up to me during the conference because other people were talking about their websites. And then, of course, I'm sitting at home on the Zoom, clicking along on my phone, looking at these other county websites that they were talking about. And the couple that were, I thought, really excellent were, I think it was Paulding,
Yeah,
Cobb,
Paulding
and
has a really
Forsyth.
good one.
Those. So anyway, be good for us to add a few things, I think.
And one of the other takeaways from the conference too, while I was watching, and I've already talked with Stacy and we were discussing and she's reached out, is that we are gonna talk some more about like getting with EMA for emergencies and heightened security, especially with presidential election in '24, and addressing that to help some of those issues that were brought up at the conference too. So-
Yeah, and I spoke with Mark Harris, our EMA director today, and him and I are gonna sit down and have a meeting before next year, just in preparation for that.
That'd be great.
All right. No other board comments? Okay. Do I have a motion for?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Thank you. And all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank y'all. Adjourn.